In continuations with your theme 9, that is Industrial Revolutions, today we will explain cotton spinning and weaving. In the 17th century, the British had been importing bales of cotton cloths from India. So during this period, the East India Company controlled India and began to import along with this cloth raw cotton, which could be spun and woven into clothes in India. So these spinners occupied their work all day. This raw cotton was imported, and a large part of this finished cloth was exported. Britain was controlling over the sources of this raw cotton as well as the markets, and this industry was heavily dependent on the works of these women and children in factory. 17th centuries kan Britain ten cotton la hi Indian ram atangin nasatakin an lalutani kha mo chuan khati hun lai khan East India Company British sumdong pol inzom khom kan ti te khanin India khan thunun an khwa khira British ten an cotton laklu atang khanin thuam no moi tak British ho khanin an ron thon chuak le ta chur mai thina ni kha mo chuan khati hun lai khan an thil siam na mun an sum do na khanin nu naw an thok na sa le bok ane. And next we go to steam power. During the industrial revolutions, the realizations that steam could generate tremendous power and was important for large scale industry. And this steam power was first used in mining industry. Known persons like this Thomas Savery, Thomas Newcomen, and James Watt further developed this technology, and with the use of these lighter, stronger metals and manufactured more accurate machine tools, and then spread better scientific knowledge because of this. Steam power kan ti chuan tui hu chakna mang khanin nasa takin thil an siam chuak khan ti pung ani mo he tui hu chakna hi mining industry a khanin an mang masabera Thomas Savery te Thomas Newcomen te James Watt te hi amang masatu te ni he kola hianin thir zang khai zok le chak zok an man awangin an thil siam chhuat te po kha a thadai zok ani mo chuan fin na te thiam na te mo le hriat na te ati zau hle bok ani he steam power atang hianin. And next we go to constructions of canals. Initially, canals were built to transport coals to cities, and this transporting coal by roads was expensive and slower and was a difficult task due to the bulk and weights of coal. So the first English canal, known as the Worsley Canal, was built in 1761 by James Breedley, and its completions decreased the value of this coal by half. And these canals were used for transporting coals. So further, these big businessmen began to build canals in order to increase the value of their mines, quarries, or forests on their land. So these constructions of this canal paved the way for the emergence of new markets in new towns. And next we go to change lives. The Industrial Revolution changes the life of the people in many ways. There was a rapid growth of these populations in the urban area, and newcomers in towns were forced to live in these overcrowded slums in the congested central areas of this town near factories. And while these rich people, the rich inhabitants, shifted their home where the air was cleaner and where the water were safe for drinking. Ole tuikong mumal takin an siama an sa he tuikong an sakhi lung al thei phur son nan ania a chan chu by road chuanin aman atawa hau tak boka chuan by road chuanin a phur chung kha a rei bok se ni mo chuan English tuikong masaber chu Worsley Canal ania 1761 James Bridley an adin ani kha chuan he tuikong an sakhian thil zor na hmun le khopui te hi ati ma son na sa hle ani Industrial Revolution se ani mipui te nun athak danglam hne hle a khopuya mo factories te an buna chuan factories a na thok tu te an ron pem lu ta khopui kha abit ta hle ani chuti rual chuanin a hausa anei nung deuh ten an chen na in kha an sona mo chuan hmun thoveng le tui in tur tha om na hmuna khanin om hmun an khuar ta zawk ani Next, we go to the workers. The average lifespan of the worker was lower than that of any others. Half of the children failed to survive beyond the age of 5. So this increase in populations of the city was because of immigrants rather than by increase in numbers of children born to families, okay? Who already live there. Deaths were primarily caused by this epidemic of disease sprang from these pollutions of waters like this cholera and typhoid, or of this airborne disease like this tuberculosis. More than 31,000 people died from an outbreaks of this cholera in 1832, okay, during those periods. And next is women, children, and industrializations. Children of the rural poor had always worked at home or in the farm under the watchful eye of their parents or relatives. Women were actively involved in farm works. They reared livestock, gathered firewood, and spun yarn or spinning wheels in their homes. So these earning of women and children were necessary to supplement men's murder, okay, wage, and then children were often employed in textile factories because they were small enough to move between these tight packed machinery, and they used to work for a long hour, including cleaning the machines on Sundays. Means they usually clean the machines on Sunday and allow them little fresh air or this exercise. Sometimes children crushed their hands, while some died when they fell into the machines as they drop off to sleep. They fall asleep from this exhaustion. Okay, so these factories managers considered child labor to be an important training for these future factory workers, and it is said that the children started to work when they were less than 10 years of age. Okay? Ole. Na thok tu te an nun a toy pha hle ni naw pang phei chu kum nga an tlin ma a nun chan hi at zat ve don lai an omani omzia chu an hrisel lo le ti na ni mo chuan khopuya mipui bit na chan ber chu migrations khopuyan pem lu wang ani chuanin shileng abik takin cholera kan ti te typhoid kan ti te lar hle a chan chu tui thiang hlim in tur an mu lo wang ani tlang pui chuan kum 1832 khanin cholera wang ringot khanin mi 31,000 vel khanin nunna an chan pha ngeng he ani chuan no pang te hi an nu te thlazar hnuaya fama te nan thok thina nu in lama ran ten vula ti chuanin thingten foma thingten phura la ten hlumbok thina ni abik takin no pang te hi puan ta na khol mo puan ta na mun puya khanin an chhortlang puyani cha chan chu no pang te hi an te ta wangin khol omna mun kil khora te khanin an han tir kwala mo achang phei chuanin khol khanin an kutte alo chil bung thina ni achang phei chuanin an thil ti laklo lai te khan an han mu thlu ang lob lopa khol kha a vir lai reng ani phei chuanin naupang te khanin ei nun na chan pha te po kha an tam pha mani because of that. Okay, chuan an soidan phei chuan naupang te hi kum som an tlin hma in na an tok tir thin ani. And next we go to protest movement. The movement for liberty, equality, and fraternity showed the possibilities of collective mass actions, both in creating democratic institutions like these French parliamentary assemblies, and in England, the political protest against the harsh working conditions in factories kept necessary and increasing the working populations agitated to be given the rights to vote. Okay, and next we go to reform through laws. Laws were passed in 1819 prohibiting the employment of children under the age of 9 in factories and limiting the loss of work of those between the age of 9 and 16 to 12 hours a day. So an act was passed that permitted the children under 9 years of age to be employed under the silk factories and limited the hours of work for older children and provided a number of factories inspectors to ensure the act was enforced, and also this limited the hour of works for women and young people and secured a 10 hours day for male worker as well. Ole, Industrial Revolution hi achatna rualin soisel tong na sahleni a soisel tu pol adom pokani mo achan chu intluk tlan na a lawa na thok tu te an ha mema hlo pung thei bok si lo nen chumi me pia lama an na tok tu ten voting rights khan la nei lo zui mo khang zong zong kha an mu an nei thei nan an protest an do da lani chuan dan thar te siamin nau pangkum kon hnuai lam re reng chu factory thotir te an khap ta ne chuan an na tho nu hun chung kha adar kar te kha an bithli an ti tlem sak bok ane. Okay, lastly, was there an industrial revolutions? Okay, let's see the debate on industrial revolutions. The term industrial revolution was used to describe the changes that occurred in Britain between 1780s to the 1820s, isn't it? So the term industrial revolution has been changed by modern historians. Industrialization was a gradual change in industrial sectors rather than a sudden revolutions, and a large areas of England was left unaffected by these factories and mines. So the word industrial used with the word revolution is too limited, and this industrial revolution generated in two prominent classes, that is the bourgeois and the proletariat laborers. Ole, hey revolution awang hianin in hian na lian tak a chwa pha ni chan chu England ramzat vedon kha he revolution hianin a khoi dang lam lo ani. He revolution hian chin huang chin anei ten tia chuan he revolution hianin mi nei nung le mi hausa mo te tan chia a hring chhuak ani an ti bawk ani. Ole khati zong kha voina kan explain thei chu nia. Thank you all.